Hello and welcome to my weekly video. A bit different this week because I'm recording it late on Monday night, one of those typical late night evenings where the debate's going to go until probably about 10:30. I was hoping to speak in the debate on the UK Internal Markets Bill, but probably time's going to run out just before it gets to me. So yet another fantastic speech which I never get to give. And after all, I did actually get to make a speech right at the end of the debate. So if you're really keen, you read it in Hansard. And now I'm off to bed. And in a short while, all the cars outside will drive up with their ministers, and then we'll all go through this really weird IKEA-type queuing system which you've now got to get into the division lobby. Anyway, the big news this week is, of course, the UK Internal Markets Bill, which is controversial, and I abstained in the first stages of it, and I've written a piece on my Facebook page to explain why I have concerns about it in more detail. Then on Tuesday we've got another new bill, the Overseas Operations Service Personnel and Veterans Bill, which is a really good piece of legislation which I know many people will welcome, and it's all about giving protections to British servicemen who many years after they've left the army find themselves being prosecuted for something that happened in Northern Ireland or other operations overseas, and it's about time we gave those veterans who gave so much for our country some real protections. On Thursday we've got a series of backbench debates, and the first one I'm actually leading on, which is about the situation in Yemen, a forgotten humanitarian disaster. Not only have they got to cope with COVID, but also an ongoing civil war that's really ripped that country to pieces. We've also got a debate then on the occupied Palestinian territories and recent developments with Israel, and the Rohingya crisis, another humanitarian crisis in another part of the world. And we've got a couple of interesting private members' bills this week, one dealing with obliging people who let their properties go to rack and ruin, that they have to maintain them, and I think that will go down well with a lot of people locally, and also one about microchipping of cats, and we're going down the same route as dogs, and again I think many people would support that. We've got a session at the Home Affairs Select Committee this week about counter-terrorism, which will be interesting before we return back to our review on the Channel migrant crossings. And then on Friday it's the Macmillan World's Biggest Coffee Morning, which we'll be doing virtually this year. It'll be interesting to see how that works, but it's a very good cause, so please do support it. I then got a meeting with representatives of St John's Ambulance, because they have been proposing to close down a lot of their properties, including their headquarters in Southwick and Shoreham, which I think would be a great shame. So I've got a meeting with St John's Ambulance, some local councillors, because the Ada Council actually own the building they work from in those two places, to see if we can't do something to reverse that decision. And on Friday evening I will be back to my traditional surgeries, and I've got a surgery in Lancing. If you want to book an appointment, then as you just ring the office in Shoreham. And I'll also be producing my first newsletter post the summer recess later this week as well, so lots to look out for.